Well, Mr. Miyagi said, focus.
You stay focused.
Tony Robbins said, you get what you focus on. Qui-Gon Jinn, maybe most important of all, said your focus determines your reality.
Always remember, your focus determines your reality.
So today, we're going to talk a little bit about focus. And I've got a great story to illustrate that. That's right, everybody. It's story time with Dude. Or something like that. So today, I have a story for you. It's got a lesson, something I actually learned 25 years ago. And I actually forget this from time to time. It's good to have refreshers and things to just kind of keep your mind sharp because, often a lot of times these life lessons that we learn, it's easy to let them slip and you kind of have to be constantly reminded. So you have that always on never-ending growth and improvement. So let's get into this story. The year was 2001. It was September 11th. Do you know what happened then? Sure you do. The World Trade Center was attacked. Planes were flown into the towers. All hell broke loose, and our country was changed. Those of us who are Gen X, maybe even millennial, definitely remember that. The Gen Zers, a lot of them didn't even live through it. But I want to tell you where I was. Now, this isn't really a 9/11 story, but it's tied to it. So, 9/11. Back I was in my 20s, I think, late 20s, early 30s, and doing phone sales. We were doing business to business, corporate sales over the phone. I mean, archaic as heck. I had a leads list with a pen and paper and a ruler, and I mean, it was just dialing for dollars. Getting our butt kicked, calling corporate executives, things like that, and we were selling some corporate development materials that had to do with training and development, mostly in the soft skills area. So this is things like leadership, managerial effectiveness, corporate development, that kind of thing. So I remember that morning we showed up at 7 a.m. every day and we'd start calling, and you're calling the East Coast. So we're calling Florida, New York, Maryland, all these different places. And again, we started calling and you just couldn't get a hold of anyone. And New York was kind of weird, and something felt off. And then I remember someone answered the phone. They said, "Don't you know what's going on?" And we're like, "No, we're just in an office, doing our thing, right? Out here in Utah." And I remember we went and flipped on the radio and then turned it to one of the news stations. And, they started talking about what was going on. And we were just like, oh my gosh, what do we do? You know what I mean? I remember me and another guy, we were a small team anyway, but I remember at that particular moment, there was two of us in the office, a couple of guys were out. And I remember we were like, what do we do? And I didn't live that far away. We ran over to my house. We got in the car, drove over there, and we walked in the house, turned on the TV, and literally right as the first tower fell. And it was pretty devastating. And again, everyone kind of knows the 9/11 story. That's not what this is about. But here's what's interesting. What happened is in the days that followed, right, amongst all the chaos, the cleanup, the madness, we were calling corporations, right? One of the very first things to go, as nobody knew what was happening. Nobody knew if there was going to be other attacks. Nobody knew, exactly what to expect. A lot of uncertainty. So when times get uncertain, guess what one of the very first things we started hearing as we kept calling companies, and then in the follow-up week. One of the first things to go is the training and development budget. We were calling, human resource directors, training directors, people who did the soft skills training, things like that. And the answer was starting to become the same. Every call, no, budgets are frozen. We're cut the training and development budget, but we're no spending right now because nobody knows quite. The future was very uncertain at that moment. And I remember we went from doing good, making sales, like my team that I was on, we got really, really good. This isn't about boasting or anything, but just to give you an idea, it would take 5 normal sales reps from the corporate office for the product that we were selling to equal one of our sales. So we were kind of this elite little commando team. We really had figured it out. We were doing really well. But the bottom line is that's not the moral of the story either. The moral of the story is nobody was buying. Okay. Like, I mean, literally, like it's like pulling teeth. Budgets were frozen, right? And I remember my boss, who was one of my all-time mentors in my life, one of my very, very best friends, and who has taught me. He's responsible for a good 80% of what I know when it comes to psychology, sales, management, leadership, all that kind of stuff. And I remember we came together. We had a meeting, and it's like, guys, we can either close up shop right now, which didn't seem like a bad idea because it was like, we're not getting anything. Everybody is telling us no, budgets are frozen. He says, so you can buy into the kind of the global belief system, he called it, which is, that there's excuses out there that we can just accept and we can just close up, or we can put our head down, we can make adjustments, we can get laser focused on set some new goals, and we can go out there and have the best month we've ever had. Now, being one of the phone jockeys, we're just like, how are we going to do that? Nobody's spending money, right? It's easy to buy in to the negativity, right? And I remember we did daily trainings, and we came up with a set of rules. First rule: no CNN, no Fox News. I mean, I don't even know if there was a plethora of news channels. We got AM radio, so like. I think a Rush Limbaugh show was on like all the time in the back room or something. Like no news radio, no news stations. When you go home, turn off the TV. No news. We have to hunker down because we have to basically get so laser focused that we create a whole new reality for ourselves. And then we started brainstorming. Well, what are the benefits right now? I understand that budgets are frozen, but there's not a better time in history to start working on developing your people. There's not a better time in this country. What this country needs right now is strong corporations. It needs good leadership. Your organization needs good managers. Our training tools can help you develop those people into stellar leaders, which is what your organization needs to make it through this next painful time that the country's going through. So what happened is we kind of adopted a new philosophy. We set goals, and I'm here to tell you guys, we did it. We literally went out and we broke every sales record that we'd ever had we were a marketing company. We were actually reselling a product from another corporation. And we broke every sales record that we had previously to that point. And we broke every sales record that they had from their home corporate office. This small team of people who basically just did not allow negativity in, and who bantered off back and forth, started every day with a motivational training, just got laser focused on what the benefits of our product can do, right? We went out and we slayed the beast. And in a time that we really, honestly, looking back, we should have probably been run out of business. We had our biggest month ever. People were not spending money. We had to get to the right decision makers, and we had to convince them of the value of what we were doing. And it was incredible. It was actually, I remember at the end of the next, month, 30 days or whatever it was, looking back, we accomplished some amazing things. Well, Qui-Gon Jinn said it to Anakin Skywalker: your focus determines your reality. Guys, that's 100% true. When you're talking weight loss, when you're talking personal transformation, you're talking personal growth, you're talking all these things. There have been other times in my life when I've been able to get laser focused. As far as the sales goes that I did that kind of stuff for 12 years. I broke every record in the company on 4 different projects because basically I wasn't ever really the highest paid guy there. But whenever I got lasered in, it was like shooting fish in a barrel. I was Michael Jordan. I couldn't miss. You know what I mean? And it all came down to focus and belief system. We'll talk about belief systems another day. But when I did that transformation program with Bill Phillips, I remember signing up, and I remember just having this thought going, if I'm ever going to have a snowball's chance in heck of winning a competition like this, it's right now. He had a brand new program, a brand new website, a brand new everything. I knew there wasn't going to be, thousands, tens of thousands of people who were doing it. It was probably going to be in the smaller thousands. And it's like, okay, this is my chance. I got laser focused. I remember I couldn't cheat. I couldn't miss. I didn't miss workouts. I didn't miss days. I didn't miss meals. Like, I was 100% dialed in. Went from 217, went down to 162, or 219 to 162, I think it was. It's 52 pounds. I was sitting in the teens as far as like my body fat percentage. The six pack was actually starting to show. And then, I kind of unraveled after I won, things unraveled and life happened and different things. There was a series of events that kind of took me out of my focus. And guess what? I gained it back. I lost sight of the goal. I lost sight of my focus. Tony Robbins talks a lot about how, you get what you focus on. And the bottom line is, if you're focused on the negative aspect of things, it gets worse and it gets worse and worse. And if you're thinking about something that's positive, it gets better and better and better. And that goes for your marriage. That we talked a little bit about this, I think on the live, but that goes for your marriage. That goes for your sales goals. It goes for your weight loss goals. I've been focusing a little bit lately on how, YouTube's tough. I've had all these ups and downs. I've had videos lately that have gotten 250 views where I've had a video go as high as 5,000 and 11,000 and, several at 4,500, several at 2,000. I'm a new channel, but it's so easy to get focused on the wrong kind of stuff and get focused on the negative things that are happening. When, look, I'm less than 90 days old, or maybe I'm around 90 days old now with my YouTube channel. And for example, I've got 1,300 and something subscribers. I've got, over 1.5 million impressions. I've got 140,000 views. I've gotten, more important than all of that, we've got a community of people right now that are like-minded, who are just supporting and helping one another and sharing ideas. And, even if I have low views, it's still rare that if a video has like under 100 comments or something, there's a lot of back and forth happening and a lot of interaction. I can only imagine if we were to keep that same type of community, but now expand it to 5,000 subscribers, 10,000 subscribers. Boy, what if I could hit my goal, get to 100,000 subscribers, get that YouTube play button? That would be an accomplishment. Money or not, that's just an accomplishment, right? So I've determined, I have to focus on the right kind of stuff. And thinking back to that story of 9/11 and breaking the sales record, and I learned a very valuable lesson that is 100% true. You get what you focus on. You have to make sure that you are paying attention to the right kind of stuff. Because like I said in a previous video, it's not about doing things every day. It's about doing the right things every day. And that over time produces the result you're looking for. So that is it, man. Master Yoda, Master Qui-Gon Jinn, Tony Robbins, all the self-help gurus of the world have probably said this in some shape or form. But the bottom line is, your focus becomes your reality. And you get more of what you focus on. So you've got to be very, very, very careful of what you allow in your mind, what you focus on. And I encourage you, I'm doing the reset right now. I'm going to focus on the right things. I'm going to focus on having a positive attitude. I'm going to focus on all the good stuff that's going on with my YouTube channel. I'm going to focus on, I got 90-day pictures tomorrow, guys. I am so scared to death that you're not going to see a difference between 60 and 90. It's freaking me out. Because I know I've fallen off a little bit in the last 30 days. I know I haven't hit all my workouts. I know I haven't been perfect in all my food. And I just got to snap back and get focused. So that's my plan. I hope you'll join me. I hope you will get focused if you're not. And set some new goals. Get lasered in. We can make so much progress in the next 90 days, guys. We can make so much progress in the next 100 videos that I'm going to post. So by the time we get to 200 videos, oh man, I want it to be like insane. Like, the transformation has got to be like, that is world class right there. So that's my plan. I'm sticking to it. Gonna get refocused, lasered in, and thanks for joining me. That was Story Time with Dude. And that's a personal life lesson that I've learned. And that's kind of what these story time videos are about. So, on onward and upward. I'm going to had a Jimmy John's unwich for lunch. I think I'm going to do an In-N-Out for dinner. We're traveling tomorrow, so I'm probably not going to pull out food and cook. But I'm staying keto, and I did check my blood yesterday. I'm in ketosis, a one point, so that's good. At least I'm still in a fat burning mode. And then yeah, I'll post the video. I'll post the stuff on the short tonight. So anyway, your focus is your reality. We'll see you tomorrow. Dude, out.